shambani, tufanye kazi sote kwa makini, tujitoe kwa hali na mali, tuijenge jumuiya bora. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuwajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
We have Professor Kot Kamanga, who will be with us as a moderator for today's session, please. We have also, I think I've mentioned this, representative from the Ministry of Finance. I think you have mentioned this one. And dear guest of honor, we have also members of the press. They are with us here. I can see they are busy trying to make this event online. We have our distinguished students of the future pillars of the legal community in Tanzania. Please, can you stand up together, all and your students? You're welcome. It's a time for you to interact with some other expert from outside Tanzania. Please, this is your session. We have also Russian lawyers alumni. If you are here, please. Alumni? Oh, thank you. Dear the guests of honor, invited guests, I think this is the end of my introduction. But if you are here and you have not been introduced, please, just, what's that? Oh, myself. I forgot to introduce myself. There's one more coming. Okay, thank you. Oh, sorry. We have Max, our dear Max, who can speak better Swahili than me, from Russian embassy in Tanzania. Please, welcome with us. Okay, myself, I'm called Professor Ambrose Kess. I'm the Deputy Principal for Planning, Finance, and Administration at the Law School. Karibuni, asante sana.
Thank you so much, Professor Casey. I'm glad that you have completed the exercise of introduction. Before we proceed, in the morning I told the students, myself I don't call them the students. These are advocates trainee, because they will soon be advocates. I hope so. In the morning I told you to sit at the back until you are told to come to the front. Now, please, can you please fill these front chairs here? I've been told by the photographers that they cannot get good photos while some chairs are empty. So kindly come forward. Especially those who are at the back. You have been elevated to the front now. At the back, please. Even the other side. tusogee hapa. Tujaze hizi hapa nafasi. At the back row, please. Let's fill the except the front line. The front row, I mean. Pale, jazeni pale. Meanwhile, I would like to recognize the representative from the Financial Intelligence Unit. Kindly, you can wave to the Karibu Sana. And members from the Tanganyika Law Society. Warmly welcome. Now I call upon the principal of the Law School of Tanzania, Professor Sisti Mramba, to say a word. Karibu.
Your Excellency, Ambassador Dr. Pindi Hasara Chana, the Minister for Constitutional and Legal Affairs, Your Excellency, Ambassador Andrei Avestas, Ambassador of Russian Federation to Tanzania, Dr. Hatib Kazungu, Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Constitutional and Legal Affairs, Alex Mutulo, Deputy Solicitor General, representative from Human Rights Commission and Good Governance, who is present, representative from the Law Reform of Tanzania, representative from National Prosecution Office, representative from the Institute of Judicial Administration, representative Dar es Salaam, present, Mr. Dennis Kunev, the Deputy Director General, Organization Analytical Department, Mr. Sergei Plokov, Director of Legal Services, Mr. Andrei Timoshenko, the Head of the Department of International Cooperation, Miss Evgenia, and you please forgive me for not mentioning the second name, but you are the prosecutor, a prosecutor from the Department of International Cooperation, management of the Ministry of Constitutional and Legal Affairs, members of the Board of Governance, or Governing Board present, members of the Law School of Tanzania from the management, distinguished members relating to legal practice. Honorable Minister and Honorable Ambassador, the discussion on international cooperation in criminal matters hold profound significance in the real realm of law and practice. In an increasingly interconnected world, where crimes transcend borders and jurisdictions, the need for critical analysis and reflection on the operation of all institutions and the systems that govern the operations in the various departments is very crucial. It does provide room for reflection, reforms, and forging necessary cooperation in the bid to combat criminal activities, which basically is imminent in current world patterns. The event, again, is an opportunity to share insights, best practices, and experiences in the field of international cooperation, particularly focusing on criminal matters, which includes new frontiers of crime, such as cyber threats, crypto crimes, in the context of modern world. Honorable Minister and Honorable Ambassador, given the current global terrain on transnational crime and terrorism, the need for effective international cooperation, understanding of these issues, but also pave the way for collaborative solutions that transcend borders and cultures. The school looks forward to continued cooperation with our colleagues from the Russian Federation in promoting joint initiatives, exchange programs, research collaborations, and enhanced collective efforts to advance legal education and promote justice. By pooling resources and expertise together, we can create a more conducive environment for learning, innovation, and excellence in the field of law. Honorable Minister and Honorable Ambassador, in my concluding remarks, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Russian delegation for joining us and all of our esteemed guests for accepting our invitation to participate in this very important occasion. I cordially invite you, therefore, to join in the discussions and contribute in the presentations that are going to be delivered by our colleagues. Let us, therefore, engage in meaningful dialogue, share our expertise and experiences, and also chart out a course towards a more promising future in the realm of law and justice. With those few remarks, I really appreciate. Thank you so much for participating in this very event. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Sisti, for that good introductory remarks. Now, I'm great honored to call upon Your Excellency Ambassador from the Russian Federation to give remarks on this particular occasion.
Good morning. Habari za asubuhi. Dear Honorable Minister Pindi Chana, Minister of Legal and Constitutional and Legal Affairs of the United Republic of Tanzania. First of all, let me congratulate you with the acceptance of the budget of the ministry by the Parliament yesterday. It is a big step in your annual activities, and now you, I think, and all your colleagues at the ministry are encouraged to further work according to the plans that you drafted, and that these plans were accepted by the Parliament as the right way to move forward constitutional and legal affairs of your country. Second of all, I would like to thank Professor Mramba, Principal of the Law School of Tanzania, for hosting us today in this magnificent new building of the law school. And I briefly exchanged with my colleagues from General Prosecutor's Office in Moscow. They are also very much impressed by the way law is being taught in Tanzania. It shows how much importance is attached by the government to preparing, grooming future law leaders of Tanzania. Honorable Minister, I think that a big impetus to cooperation between Russia and Tanzania was given last November when you visited my country. Of course, Russia and Tanzania have been enjoying friendly and very close relations for decades, starting from the day of independence of Tanganyika, because my country was the first country that recognized the independence of Tanganyika the same day it was proclaimed in December 1960. The same went for the independence of Zanzibar, and of course, together with you, several days ago, we were happy to celebrate the 60th anniversary of the United Republic of Tanzania. Since then, even before the independence actually, my country supported the struggle for independence by your people and your neighbors and Africa. The leader and the first president of Tanzania, Julius Nyerere, was a very good friend of my country, visited Russia, and since then, after this very solid foundation was laid by our leaders back in the beginning of the 60s, we've been building and further strengthening our bilateral relations. And it is only natural that now we are widening these relations, we are deepening them. I must admit that, for example, our trade and economic relations are not as active as our politically friendly relations. And we want to further promote them, promote people-to-people contacts, because this is the most important thing for peoples of different countries. Environment for investors that is carried out by President Samia Suluhu Hassan and her government. We encourage Russian business, Russian investors to come to Tanzania. And of course we are encouraged and welcome, together with our Tanzanian friends, Russian tourists who know and love Tanzania, especially Zanzibar. And we are expecting the number of these tourists to grow. I'm mentioning all this to underline the importance of legal cooperation. The more exchanges, the more active relations we have bilaterally, the more important legal cooperation is. To understand each other's legal system, to know each other's laws better, to help each other to navigate through sometimes difficult systems, difficult and different systems in our two countries. Legal cooperation is becoming more important now, together with the general development of our relations. That is why in the beginning I mentioned the visit that Honorable Minister had last November. And the success of this visit showed that it was expected, it was due, it was very timely. Madam Minister had very successful negotiations with the Prosecutor General of the Russian Federation, during which they discussed modern threats such as terrorism, as well as growing criminal trends in the information and digital dimension, especially associated with the circulation of cryptocurrencies. All these require closer bilateral cooperation. Also, they discussed widening interaction between the agencies that would allow to enhance work on protecting citizens' rights and preventing other types of crimes. As a part of the visit, the first of this kind, agreement on cooperation between the Prosecutor General's Office of the Russian Federation and the Ministry of Constitutional and Legal Affairs of Tanzania was signed. Also, Madam Minister had successful and fruitful negotiations with the Minister of Justice of the Russian Federation, and she also signed the Memorandum of Understanding between these two ministries. Russia is ready to continue expanding bilateral ties in legal affairs. Now using these two documents that I mentioned, but also we are looking forward to further legal bilateral documents that can be signed very soon, and we are expecting Honorable Minister to visit Russia again next June, because she kindly accepted our invitation to participate in the annual St. Petersburg International Legal Forum, which is to be held in the end of June. And during this forum, we expect that two more treaties, draft treaty on extradition and on transfer of sentenced persons to serve sentences between Russian Federation and the United Republic of Tanzania. These we are expecting to be signed there. It will move forward, further forward, our legal cooperation. And today, also a very special event we are having. For the first time, we have lecturers, prominent prosecutors from Prosecutor General's Office of the Russian Federation here in Dar es Salaam to introduce you to concrete practice, concrete cases that our guests see important also for legal practice in Tanzania and important for our bilateral cooperation. We already had a brief discussion with Madam Minister and the principal of the law school about making such lectures regular, about establishing cooperation between the law school of Tanzania and Russian law schools and universities. If you find this new practice interesting, then we can see the possibility of regular exchanges of students and professors and close cooperation between our legal schools, legal systems that will all only help our general good and friendly relations be even better and closer. I wish the success of today's lectures. I'm sure it will be useful for students and guests from different ministries and public offices of Tanzania. And again, if you find it interesting, we can make it a system and a regular thing. Thank you, and I wish you an interesting day today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Excellency Ambassador Andreat. It was not only an introductory remark, but I found it to be a lecture because some of the students were taking notes, especially when they heard about treaties which are going to be signed. And I saw Professor Majamba was taking notes. Thank you very much, Excellency Ambassador. But I will not allow them to ask questions now. Now, all protocol observed, I humbly call upon Dr. Hatip Kazungu, Permanent Secretary, to say a word and to welcome the Honorable Minister for opening.
Honorable Minister, Ambassador Dr. Pindichana, Your Excellency Ambassador Andrei, Ambassador of the Russian Federation of Tanzania, all protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning. Honorable Minister, my role here is very, very small, and of course, to invite you to address this distinguished community. Ambassador Dr. Pindichana, our Minister, welcome.
Na wasalimu kwa salamu ya jina la Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. Wanasheria mjambo? Mko salama? Asante, muda unakwenda, natamani tungekuwa na siku mbili. Ngoja tuone. Excellency Ambassador Andrei Avetisius, Ambassador of Russian Federation to Tanzania. Allow me also to recognize our Deputy Permanent Secretary, Dr. Kazungu, in presence. He's here together with us. I'm told also we have representatives from the Office of Director of Public Prosecution. I would like to recognize their presence. Professor Sist Mramba, Principal Law School of Tanzania. But also we have our Deputy Administrator General, Irene Lusulie from RITA, representative from Human Rights Commission and Good Governance, representative also from NPS office, maybe in Dar es Salaam, representative from the Institute of Judicial Administration, representative from Regional Commissioner's Office, Dar es Salaam. Allow me also to recognize Denis Kunev, Deputy Director General, Organization Analytical Department from Russia, Mr. Sergei Plahov, Director of Legal Service, Andrei Timoshenko, Head of the Department of International Cooperation, Evgenia, Prosecutor Cooperation, Management of the Ministry of Constitution and Legal Affairs, Management of the Law School of Tanzania, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, but together with us, we are with our potential advocates. I'm told they're not students, they're potential advocates. Hongereni sana. And allow me to recognize moderators. Today we are with Law School of Tanzania, Asante sana. But also in presence is Professor Koti Kamanga. These are the gurus of law in United Republic of Tanzania. Makofi mengi sana kwao. Through them, I'm sure many people from Russian Federation welcome to Tanzania and our legal systems in our respective countries. So, distinguished delegates, let me begin by extending our deepest gratitude for during our visit to your distinguished country around December 12 to 16, 2023. Your excellent planning and warm reception provided a rich and insightful experience, highlighting the strength and awareness of your legal system and culture heritage. So before we dwell into the specifics of today's program, let me introduce you to the Ministry of Constitution and Legal Affairs of Tanzania, under which I'm privileged to serve. This ministry is vital in shaping our country's legal landscape. We are tasked with overseeing all constitutional process, the administration of justice and legal affairs. Our mission is to uphold the rule of law, enhance public legal awareness, ensure effective governance, and foster the protection of human rights. Through reforms initiatives, policy development, and active engagement in legal matters, the ministry seeks to strengthen the foundation of justice and equity in our society. Distinguished delegates, in line with the ministry's effort, the Law School of Tanzania is the cornerstone of our legal vocational training in Tanzania. So Law School of Tanzania is very, very important institution, which was established in around 2007 under Section 4, Part 1 of the Law School of Tanzania Act, Cap 425. It remains the sole institution in mainland Tanzania dedicated to equipping LLB students with the practical skills necessary to practice law effectively. The school has proudly enrolled 38 cohorts amounting to 17,782 students to date who have embarked on various training programs emphasizing hands-on learning and real-world legal experience through field placements. Distinguished delegate, 3 years of solid leadership of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, our President of United Republic of Tanzania, these three years has witnessed significant improvement in the rule of law, issues of good governance, and administration of justice. We can all witness that. We will have time to discuss. We had a committee kwenye masuala ya haki jinai. Si mnafahamu Rais wetu amefanya mambo mengi sana makubwa kwa upande wetu na yajayo ni neema tele. What is happening today is a testimony of Her Excellency's 4R. Now we focus on reconciliation, resilience, reform, and rebuilding. Distinguished delegates, today we are honored to host a series of enlightening presentations from your esteemed delegation on the following critical topic, I'm told. There will be a topic on organizing of activity of the Russian Prosecutorial Authority. There will be a topic on topical directions of international legal cooperation of the Prosecutor General's Office of the Russian Federation in the context of modern threats and challenges, but also there will be a topic on Russian experience of combating turnover of cryptocurrency used to commit crimes. So it is very healthy to exchange experience, to understand what is happening in one side of the world. So thanks for this very meeting here today. And I'm sure we will be having a lot of such visiting lecturers from Russia and many parts. Distinguished delegates, during my visit to Russia, apart from signing the agreement, I had an opportunity to have tete-a-tete with Prosecutor General of Russian Federation, Mr. Igor Kranov. Please express my sincere gratitude and appreciation to Prosecutor General of the Russian Federation. We say thank you very much. And also Minister of Justice of the Russian Federation, Konstantin Chuichenko. And we agreed in principle our ministries and institutions should start to cooperate. And here today we see the implementation. Asante sana na makofi mengi. Our President, Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, in one of her 4 R's is rebuilding. And that is what we are doing here today, rebuilding. Our two nations had a historical diplomatic cooperation, just as Ambassador Andrei mentioned before, yet we need this kind of reform. Let me take this opportunity to innovate more and develop ideas in collaboration. Distinguished delegates, following these presentations, I eagerly anticipate engaging with you in a robust discussion on potential areas of cooperation that could include joint training initiative, issues of cyber security, the creation of adaptable legal framework for new technologies, and culture and legal exchange program. These discussions are not merely academic, but vital for crafting adequate responses to the legal challenges today and tomorrow. So it is very healthy. Distinguished delegates, let today serve as a platform for building lasting partnership and reinforcing our commitment to justice and the rule of law between our two countries. Together, through shared knowledge and mutual support, we can forge a future where justice is not confined by borders, but upheld universally across our countries. We need human rights all over. We need to stop crime everywhere. So we need cooperation everywhere. We say asante sana. Distinguished guests, thank you again for your attention. And let me say, members of the delegation of the Office of the Prosecutor General of the Russian Federation, thank you for your presence and participation. Let us move forward with open heart and minds towards fruitful discussion and enduring collaboration. I say asante sana and spasiba vam большое. Oh, I hereby announce that our discussion, meeting, lecture is officially opened. Asante sana.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, Ambassador Dr. Pindi Hazarchana, for the profound speech. And we also thank you very much for opening these particular occasions formally. Now, before we go to the session, I would like all to go for a group photo. And then when we come back, I will introduce you to the moderator and the discussants. And at the end of the session, Honorable Dr. Kazungu will give a closing remark. Thank you very much. Sorry. Okay, thank you very much. I'm told that because of time, we can proceed. And now I would like to, the organizers, can you please arrange for the table now, specifically for the presentations?
na kutakuwa ya mengi. Mashirikiano tunayo katika kujifunza kutoka kwa nchi moja na nyingine, mazoezi, mashirikiano, kanuni inasaidia sana. Sisi wanasheria tunaposema kuzingatia haki za binadamu, kimsingi hilo ni jambo la maeneo yote, na maana haya yanazidi kuimarika katika sekta mbalimbali. Vijana watu wengi ya uinjinia leo wamekuja na tuna mafunzo vijana wetu wasome kuandaa mawakili. Kwa hiyo ni chuo sana, na huwa tunakuwa aina mbalimbali. Kuna wakati hapa mawakili na leo tunaona delegation kutoka Urusi imekuja hapa. Kwa hiyo kwamba wafanyakazi maalum siku ya wafanyakazi tarehe 1 Mei, na taratibu kanuni hizo ndio wanashirika kuzitambua, kuzijua, kuzizingatia. Kazi wana haki ya likizo, wana haki ya masuala mengi mbalimbali. Kwa hiyo ni wakati mwafaka kubadilishana uzoefu ndani ya nchi, lakini hata na wenzetu kutoka nchi mbalimbali, na leo lakini sisi pamoja na nchi mbalimbali ikiwemo Urusi pia tunahitaji tuingie kwenye makubaliano. Endapo mtu amefanya uhalifu katika nchi X anakimbilia Y, na utaratibu kumwomba yule mhalifu arudi awajibike, na endapo mtu amefanya uhalifu katika nchi Y, utaratibu wa kumwomba yule mhalifu arudi kule ambako jambo lilitokea. Kwa hiyo kama nilivyoripoti jana pale bungeni, tumekuwa na mikataba mingi sana ya masuala ya extradition. Extradition ni pale kumrudisha mhalifu anapofanya uhalifu katika eneo moja akakimbilia eneo la pili kwenda kujificha, na inasaidia sana watu kutii sheria pasipo shuruti, maana mtu anaweza akafanya uhalifu akakimbia mahali pengine. Kwa hiyo hayo ni maeneo ambayo tutakwenda kujifunza kutoka kwa kila mmoja, lakini ni namna gani tunaendelea kulinda haki za binadamu, kuzuia uhalifu wa aina moja. Maana sasa hivi kuna uhalifu kwenye mitandao, watu wanatapeli kwenye mitandao humo, kwenye technology, masuala ya simu, Sasa hivi biashara mbalimbali zinafanyika kwa utaratibu wa mitandao. Kuna mauzo, kuna malipo, kuna watu wanafanya biashara nchi mbalimbali. Unalipa pesa yako iende kwa mnunuzi, muuzaji, unakuta pesa haijafika. Ni namna gani unaweza ukajifunza kutoka kwa nchi ya mtu mwingine, lakini pia na wao wanaweza wakajifunza mambo gani. Kwa hiyo kikubwa ni kuzuia masuala mbalimbali ya uhalifu, watu waishi kwa amani, watu waishi kwa uhuru, waweze kutalii, kufanya biashara, na kikubwa ni kulinda masuala mazima ya haki za binadamu.
Ni naibu mkuu wa taasisi utafiti na ushauri elekezi and consultants. Wa hapa mafunzo wanasheria kwa vitendo, Law School of Tanzania. Maswali? Ambapo umesikia kwa waziri wa shirikisho la Urusi, leo tuna mhadhara muhimu sana unaotolewa kwa ushirikiano kati ya wataalamu kutoka ofisi ya mashtaka ya Urusi, lakini na wataalamu wa kwetu hapa Tanzania kuhusu uzoefu wa Urusi na Tanzania kwenye kupambana na uhalifu, particularly uhalifu wa kimataifa. Na hata wenyewe unaendeshwa kwa sababu kubwa ya uhusiano tulionao sisi na Urusi toka tulipata uhuru, lakini pia ni jitihada za waziri wetu wa Katiba na Sheria, Mheshimiwa Wazi Ndichana, mwaka jana mwezi Desemba ya Urusi, na katika maeneo mbalimbali ambayo yanaonekana ni muhimu kushirikiana ni maeneo ya kuimarisha kushirikiana nao. Sisi tunaona hii ni mambo muhimu sana, kwa sababu mafunzo yetu hapa ya vitendo, na huwa tunahimiza wanafunzi pia wapate fursa ya kukaa na wataalamu walioko kwenye maeneo ya kazi ya wabobezi ili waweze kujengewa uwezo zaidi. Matamanio ya wapi wanaweza kwenda kufanya kazi baada ya kumaliza law school. Kwa tunaona ni jambo muhimu sana. Kama alivyosema Mheshimiwa Balozi wa Urusi, tunatarajia lectures kama hizi zitaendelea, na wametuahidi kwamba tutaendelea kushirikiana kwa kubadilishana wanafunzi, lakini pia na wakufunzi. Yaani walioko Urusi wanakuja huko wanajifunza, na sisi tunakwenda kule tunajifunza, na pia hata kusoma kama alivyosema Mheshimiwa Waziri. Urusi imekuwa ikitoa msaada kwa kuwasomesha vijana wengi sana wa Tanzania toka tulipata uhuru.
I am confident that such events foster fruitful cooperation for the well-being of people of our nations, and I wish all the citizens of the United Republic of Tanzania sound health, happiness, and prosperity. Thank you. Yes. Там, да.
No, no, I'm pushing this. Okay. Just a little.
Thank you. And first of all, in our first presentation, I would like briefly introduce you to the prosecutor's office at whole in general, and to introduce you to structure and powers of our agency, and to show you what issues we pay the most attention to. In our country, in Russia, the law enforcement system consists of 7 independent agencies. First of all, Prosecutor's Office, the first place, Investigative Committee, Federal Security Service, Ministry of Internal Affairs, Federal Guard, Federal Customs Service, and Ministry of Justice, among which the prosecution authorities have played a special leading role for more than, as you said, more than 300 years. Since its establishment in 1722 by Emperor Peter the Great, the prosecution bodies have remained the most important link in the system of state administration. We exercise the highest supreme supervision over the observance of the law by all levels of government in the country, including military authorities, all officials, all governing bodies, managers of commercial and non-commercial organizations. The prosecutors check the legality of acts issued by above all persons and bodies. The legal status of our independent agency, which is not part of any branch of power, is enshrined by the country's constitution of Russia. It's headed by the Prosecutor General's office, located in Moscow. At the same time, territorial offices operated in all 89 regions of our country, from the westernmost Kaliningrad region on the Baltic Sea. There is a border with the European Union, to the far eastern regions washed by the Pacific Ocean. There were borders with Japan and the USA. Each of the entities of the Russian Federation is divided into city and district prosecutors' offices. Within the prosecutors' offices, there are departments with special powers. These include Chief Military Prosecutor's Office, which supervises legality in the country's armed forces. Its structure includes 10 prosecutors' offices of military districts and marine fleets. Specialized prosecutors' office also include environmental and transport prosecutors' office, and the total staff size of the prosecution bodies of Russia is 55,000 people. To become a prosecutor, a person must be, first of all, a citizen of the Russian Federation and have a higher legal education from a state-recognized university. It may be our agency's university or any other legal university. There are several such universities in Russia in different cities. Promotion from district to central office is based primarily on performance and competence. However, experience in the previous position is usually required for promotion to the next level. All prosecutors are required to complete systematic training to improve their skills in our university, first of all, agency universities. To this end, the Russian Prosecutor General's office has established and successfully operates a university with branches in 7 cities of our country, and my colleague later will speak about it more detailed. Appointment to lower level management position is possible upon reaching the age of 27 and 5 years of experience in the prosecutor's field. For regional prosecutors, age of 30 and 7 years experience respectively. The Prosecutor General and his deputies are appointed and dismissed by the President of the Russian Federation after consultation with upper house of the Russian Parliament, Council of the Federation. Over the course of more than 3 centuries, prosecution authorities of Russia have developed a wide range of powers. An important area of the prosecutor's activities is protection of the state economic interests, including the security of state property. To this end, prosecutors are empowered to seek compensation through administrative, civil, and arbitration proceedings. The prosecutor's office plays a central role in the implementation of the national state anti-corruption policy. We are competent to carry out relevant inspection checks to detect corruption among officials and to recover from them income of unexplained origin. Among our powers are a number of other areas of great importance to the country. For example, we take measures to prohibit terrorist and extremist organizations and prevent them from operating in Russia. We demand the extrajudicial blocking of internet resources containing illegal and fake information in internet net. We monitor compliance with the law by detention facilities, oversee the work of all the country's investigative bodies, have the right to overturn their decisions, and once investigations are complete, refer criminal cases to the courts where we represent a state in the prosecution. We consider our human rights function of monitoring respect for human and civil rights and freedoms to be the most important part of our work. For many years in our history, we have enjoyed one of the highest level of public confidence among state structures. For example, last year alone, we received more than 6 million applications from citizens asking for help on a wide range of issues. At the same time, we focus our efforts on protecting the right of vulnerable groups, first of all, such as minors, disabled people, elderly, large families, and so on. We pay particular attention to the protection of citizens' labor and housing rights also. To this end, we have the right to defend such citizens in court. For example, by bringing cases to ensure that orphans are provided with free housing by the state. You see, dear colleagues, how wide is the competence of prosecutors in Russia. Undoubtedly, we need considerable powers to implement them, and we have them. For example, we have the right to send binding acts to state bodies and officials, warning them of violations of the law, and if they have been committed, to demand that they be eliminated. We also have the right to demand the cancellation of an unlawful act, regardless of who issued it, to call officials to administrative account, to demand that the investigative bodies initiate criminal prosecutions, to file lawsuits to the courts, to recognize actions of official unlawful, to participate in court proceedings that affect the interest of the state, and to give our own legal opinions in courts. All of this is by no means a complete list of our powers. In order to exercise them properly and to ensure the independence of the decision taking, a comprehensive system of social guarantees for prosecutors has been established in a legislature, which I would also like to describe some words about it. Prosecutors are paid a monthly salary with an extensive system of additional allowances. For example, the additional payments increase with length of service and rank. During their service, prosecutors are fully provided at the expense of the state with summer and winter uniform, winter more warmer, and tickets for all forms of public transport to their place of work. The length of annual leave depends on the length of service. It varies from a minimum of 30 to maximum of 45 days. In territories with difficult climate conditions, such as northern part of Russia, leave can be up to 54 days, and the length of service is twice as fast as in regions with a favorable climate. Prosecutors are provided with office accommodation if they or their family members do not have their own accommodation in their place of work. Once during period of public service, if a prosecutor has at least 10 years of service, he or she can receive an apartment free of charge from the state, or a lump sum social payment for the purchase of an apartment on his or her own. All employees and pensioners of the prosecutor's office and their families are guaranteed medical care. There are 3 agency health centers in our structure where all employees of the prosecutor's office can rest and receive treatment. Their resorts are located in the forest area not far from Moscow, as well as on the resort coast of the Black Sea in its subtropical climate. We have such climate too, but only in one region. The state covers up to 60% of the cost of a stay of these centers, which includes not only accommodation and the treatment, but also meals for employees and their families, and reimburses the full cost of travel to the resort by any means of transport. During the period of service, prosecutors are entitled to attend postgraduate studies for the purpose of defending an academic degree, after which a special salary supplement is established. Upon reaching 20 years of service, prosecutors are entitled to a preferential pension, but if they continue to work, they receive 50% of their state pension in addition to their salary. The retirement age is 65 years, but it may be extended to 70 years annually by decision of Prosecutor General. The Russian Prosecutor General's office has a centuries-old history, and the full range of its power has developed gradually. As a result, a unique model of a modern state body has been created. It's impossible to cover all areas of our work, and I have deliberately not touched upon issues of international cooperation or the capabilities of our agency university. My colleagues will talk about them. To conclude the first statement, I would like to say that despite the fact that the Russian prosecutor's office has been in existence for 302 years, we are not only preserving our traditions, but also keeping up with the time. We are actively engaged in the digitalization of prosecutorial activities, introducing modern technologies in our work, analytical models, and crime forecasting sentence into our work with the help of artificial intelligence. In general, I hope you have a general impression about our agency, and especially for you, we have prepared a short video for about 8 minutes about the Russian prosecutor's office, and I suggest you watch it if you don't mind. And before continue our event, I would like to give you important information to inform you that all participants of our lectures who are participating here today will be awarded special certificates in English for completely the for completing the training courses. We have prepared them for you. This is an official document signed and stamped by a rector of our university, and we will get them after our event. And now I ask to turn the video. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we are clear-minded about how the prosecutorial machinery is structured in Russia, what powers they have, and most important of all, kikokotoo chao. The retirement age in Zuri, guaranteed free transport, public transport, medical support for the staff and for members of the family, holiday resort, right? Preferential treatment on retirement, right? Unapata 50% juu ya mshahara wako wakati unastaafu. Огромное спасибо. Tunasikiliza nani ya pili ambayo mtoa mada ni Sergei Vladim Plahov. Hajamaliza bado. Oh, my apologies. Прошу прощения, прошу.
For more than 300 years, the Russian Prosecution Service has been a major law enforcement and human rights public body, representing a unique model of an agency with broad views and the Prosecutor General. The highest level of the agency is the Prosecutor General's office, which consists of departments, divisions, and the Chancellor of Justice. The Prosecutor General and his deputies are appointed by the President of the Russian Federation upon consultation with the upper house of the Russian Parliament. A similar procedure is provided for appointing prosecutors of constituent entities of the Russian Federation, with the following specialized prosecutors' offices enjoying equal status: 3 environmental, and 8 transport, as well as 11 military and naval prosecutors' offices. However, the largest section of the prosecution service is represented by city and district prosecutors' offices located all over the country. The Russian prosecution service employs a total of 55,000 people. The main function of the prosecution service is to supervise the observance of the Constitution on behalf of the state and to execute laws having legal force throughout the entire country. One of the most important functions in the prosecutor's work is to protect human rights, which is carried out by supervising all authorities and their officials, including those in the government of the Russian Federation, to ensure that they are observing human rights and freedoms, especially those of socially vulnerable groups such as minors, people with disabilities, the elderly, and multi-child families. Special attention is paid to protecting citizens' labor and housing rights and the legitimate interests of the business community, as well as to ensuring consistency in the legality of budget spending and tariff setting, including electric power and water use. As part of their daily activities, prosecutors receive citizens and promptly respond to reports of violations of the law. At the same time, appeals can also be submitted through on-site and electronic reception offices or via public services websites. There are approximately 5 million appeals a year. Prosecutors restore the rights of a significant number of citizens every year, at no cost and in a timely manner. The powers of the prosecution service also include supervising compliance with environmental laws, ensuring transport safety, and countering customs violations. Its supervisory authority also extends to the military-industrial complex and compliance with laws at specially protected facilities, as well as the Baikonur complex. The Prosecutor General's office plays a key role in implementing government policies for countering corruption. An international youth social anti-corruption advertising competition entitled Together Against Corruption is held annually, whose results are traditionally released on December the 9th, International Anti-Corruption Day. Work aimed at combating extremism and terrorism is carried out, which includes banning the activities of extremist and terrorist organizations and blocking relevant internet resources throughout the Russian Federation. This procedure generally takes from 3 to 24 hours. A significant part of the prosecutor's work involves overseeing how bodies that carry out special investigative techniques and investigate criminal cases apply the law. It is the prosecutor who checks the lawfulness of initiating criminal cases, verifies other key procedural decisions, determines whether cases will be brought before a court of law, and conducts public prosecution in courts. The Russian prosecution service coordinates the activities of all law enforcement authorities in the fight against crime. Another area of work is overseeing administrations of penitentiary institutions to ensure their compliance with the law. Prosecutors participate in administrative, civil, and arbitration proceedings, appeal court decisions that contradict the law, initiate lawsuits in court in the interests of the state, as well as in the interests of individuals who cannot defend their rights themselves. One of the prosecution service's activities is international legal cooperation. Russia's Prosecutor General's office is the central authority in matters involving extradition and for providing legal assistance in criminal cases and administrative cases at the pre-trial stage. It also assists law enforcement, including in issues falling outside the field of criminal law. It represents and protects the interests of the Russian Federation in interstate bodies, as well as foreign and international courts and arbitrations, including the rights of athletes in the Court of Arbitration for Sport. In addition, it participates in developing international treaties for combating crime and organizes the work of all authorized agencies in recovering criminally derived assets from abroad. Representatives of the Prosecutor General's Office of the Russian Federation take part in government delegations that represent the Russian Federation in the Financial Action Task Force, the Eurasian Group on Combating Money Laundering and the Financing of Terrorism, the Global Network of Anti-Corruption Authorities, and other various fora, including those within the United Nations. By maintaining direct contact with the competent authorities of other countries, international bodies and organizations, the Prosecutor General's Office of the Russian Federation concludes agreements, memoranda, cooperation programs, and other international agreements therewith. There are more than 140 agreements in force as of today. The Russian prosecution service system has its own university with branches in 6 cities around the country, with its own material resources, as well as academic and practical publications. It provides staff training as well as advanced training courses for prosecutors, including foreign ones, and conducts extensive research work. The structure of the University of the Prosecutor's Office of the Russian Federation includes a research institute whose advanced developments have been used in practice to improve the work related to ensuring law and order for more than 60 years. The university concludes its own international agreements with foreign educational organizations and has an exchange program for professors, students, and scientific delegations. The superiors of the Prosecutor General's Office of the Russian Federation pay particular attention to sports and patriotic education and run sports and athletic competitions aimed at maintaining team cohesion and the continuity of generations. Since 2022, all Russian archery tournaments have been held for the Cup of the Prosecutor General of the Russian Federation. The Russian Prosecution Service, within its competence, is open to cooperation with foreign colleagues on any issues of mutual interest. For more than 300 years, the Russian Prosecution Service.
Kwa mara nyingine asante sana Denis Anatolievich. Второй раз. Огромное спасибо. Tunamsikiliza sasa hivi Sergei Vladimir Plahov, ni mwanasheria mwenzetu. Pia ni mtaalamu wa kutafsiri, translation and interpretation. Ni kama msemaji aliyopita, naye amesoma vyuo vikuu muhimu sana kwenye mambo ya prosecution Urusi. Saratov, na tumeambiwa hapa kwamba pia ni naibu mkurugenzi mkuu idara ya sheria. Welcome, please.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, Honorable Ambassador Dr. Pindi Hazarachana, Your Excellency Professor Mramba, ladies and gentlemen, estimated colleagues, good morning. Habaria Asubui. First of all, let me start with expressing my gratitude for a wonderful organization of this event, for the warm welcome, your hospitality and friendliness. You made us feel home. Secondly, let me please congratulate you on the Union Day, which has been celebrated recently. I wish all the people of your country happiness and prosperity. As for this conference, it's an honor to me for me to take the floor in front of such high estimated audience. At the Prosecutor General's Office, I am responsible for international cooperation, and today I will tell you how this activity has developed in recent years and what topical directions of international cooperation we take in today's reality. So for more than 3 centuries, the Russian Prosecution Service has been fulfilling majors, the most important of which are the supervision of accurate and right execution activity of the